Hey everyone, it's Mallory, and today I am doing my February wrap-up and March to be read. So in the month of February, I actually did quite a bit of reading compared to January. I finished 7 books, which is really amazing because I work full-time and I go to school full-time, so I'm really happy with that number. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. Some of these I have done a full review for, so I will link those down below to our blog. The first book that I read was Keeper of the Cities #2, which is Exile, and that is by Shannon Messenger. And this is a series about elves. I'm getting a really Harry Potter vibe for it, just more for a younger audience, I would say. But it's a really cute, quick reading series, and I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones, and can we just take a second to look at this cover, because it is one of my favorite covers that I have ever seen. I bought this book in August when I was on vacation in Victoria, BC, and I've just been wanting to read it ever since, and for some reason kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and I finally just needed to pick it up, and I'm so glad that I did. It was really adorable and so fun to get through, and there were parts that had me laughing so hard, especially the part where Howl is drunk. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was The Duff by Cody Keplinger. This was our book discussion book of the month, so that is with Maria, Marissa, and Mackenzie. We have already had our discussion, and I will be posting the discussion hopefully in the next day or two. I give this a 5 out of 5 stars. We all really loved it. I think it's great, and I haven't even watched the trailer yet because I didn't want to spoil myself at all for the book, so I'm really excited to watch the trailer, and then I'm gonna go see the movie, so I can't wait for that. The next book that I read was the 4th book in the Sookie Stackhouse series, and that is Dead to the World by Charlene Harris. And like I said in my Friday reads, these kind of just keep getting worse and worse, but I just have them there kind of as a guilty pleasure. This one did get a little bit better, but still, I wouldn't say I really enjoy these books. I just read them. So I ended up giving this one a 3 out of 5 stars, and I will probably continue with the series just so I can say that I got through it. The next book that I read was probably one of my favorites of the month. I gave this a lower rating than The Duff, but I think I liked it a little bit more. I know that's kind of strange, I don't know why. But it's 7 Deadly Wonders by Matthew Riley, and I flew through this book in 2 days. You immediately are thrown into action. Like, there's no backstory, there's no kind of smooth transition into the action. It's just you're literally thrown right into it, and you're trying to figure out like what the heck is going on. Kind of think like Maze Runner, when Thomas wakes up and he's already in the maze, like in the elevator going up, and it's like instantly kind of action. Now every so often, I forget, it's like 4,500 years, the sun and the planets make some sort of alignment, and when that happens, if you have all the pieces of the golden capstone and put them on top of the Great Pyramid at Giza with some sand from your country, then you will have world dominance, basically. So Jack West Jr. and his team of 7 or 8 other people are basically trying to avoid one country getting all the pieces of the capstone to have that world dominance. So like Jack West Jr. is an Australian, and then he's got an Israeli, an Arab, a Canadian, New Zealander, Egyptian, and now I can't think of the other ones, but it's really cool that they have different ones. I listened to the audiobook of this, and the guy who read it was really good at doing the accent, so it's nice to have that kind of way to differentiate between the characters. And then there's also a little girl in here who has different call names for the characters. So for instance, the Arab, she calls him Pooh Bear. So every time he talked, the guy who read the audiobook would do like a really low voice, but then his name was Pooh Bear, so it kind of made me giggle every time. I have done a full review of this one. I have not posted it yet, but when I do, I will link that below. I don't know if I said this already, but I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next on the list was kind of another filler, and it was Dark Magic by Kate Tiernan, which is the 4th book in the Sweep series, which is about Wiccans. And again, these, I don't really say that I like them. I absolutely loved Kate Tiernan's Immortal Beloved series, but I just find that the writing in these just don't compare. As well as the characters, I just don't feel any connection to any of them. So yeah, that's that. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read was one we were sent for review, and we actually just did a post for the blog tour, and it is Treasure Darkly by Jordan Elizabeth. And I actually really enjoyed this. It was a really different read for me. It's a steampunk mixed with like a Wild West feeling, and I don't really go for those more Western type reads, so I was kind of nervous going into this one, but I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Me and Maria both just finished reading it. I think she's reviewed it already. I'm in the process of writing mine, so we will hopefully have that up on the blog within the next few days. On to my March to be read. I have 5 books on my TBR and 3 that I'm already in the middle of reading, so I'm hoping to be able to make it through all of these. The first one that I'm currently reading is Poser: My Life in 23 Yoga Poses by Clara Detterer. I just kind of keep this one on my nightside table, and I don't really get much time to read at night because I basically get home from school and go right to bed, so I'm only 28 pages in right now, but I don't think this is a book that you have to kind of read in all one sitting. I'm gonna take my time through it and really enjoy it. The next book that I'm currently in the middle of, I'm about 60% of the way through, I believe, is Extraordinary Sam, book 1 by Kevin A. Springer. And we were sent this for review, and we are also doing a post for the blog tour, which is coming up March 17th. So we'll probably have our review out around the same time that will be going up. I'm actually really enjoying this book so far. It's so cute, and your imagination just kind of takes off like it was when you were a kid, so it's really nice to have that refreshing read in between everything else. The next book that I'm in the middle of is The Hunt for Atlantis by Andy McDermott, and I'm totally in the mood for treasure hunting books right now, just like Seven Deadly Wonders was. I just love those action-packed, like goal in mind, finding puzzles and figuring them out kind of books, and I just really needed something else that was similar to Seven Deadly Wonders, so I started looking up books that were pretty much about treasure hunting. I also googled like books similar to National Treasure because I love those movies, as cheesy as they are, and this one came up quite a few times, so I'm about 4 chapters into it, and it's actually really good so far, and I can't wait to get more into it. So then for the books that I want to read, I will be reading Everblaze by Shannon Messenger, which is the 3rd book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series, and I don't know if I have too much to say about this one. I already told you it's about elves and kind of like a Harry Potter world. That's what it reminds me of. The next book on my list is Six Sacred Stones by Matthew Riley, which is the 2nd book in the Why can I not speak today? Six Sacred Stones by Matthew Riley, which is the 2nd book to the Seven Deadly Wonders series. That came out a little bit better. I think it's actually called the Jack West Jr. series, but it's all the same characters, so I can't wait to get back in and see what Pooh Bear is up to and all the others, so I can't wait for that one. The next one that I'm going to read is The Grim Warning by Chris Colfer, which is the 3rd book in the Land of Stories series. And if you haven't read this series yet, you really should. Chris Colfer is an amazing writer. He also narrates his own audiobooks, so he just does absolutely amazing with the voices and the different characters and kind of bringing everything to life. And I've just fallen so completely in love with him and his writing, and I really never want this series to end. The next book that I'm reading is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Neven. This is going to be our book discussion book of the month with myself, Maria, Mackenzie, and Marissa, and I haven't really heard much about this. I heard Maria say in her video that it's crossed between The Fault in Our Stars and Eleanor and Park, and I loved both of those books, so I'm assuming that I will love this one as well. Then the last book on my list is one that we were sent for review in January, and it is Dark Legend by R.A. Renee, and this is about a witch who grew up her whole life believing that she was a witch, and then she finds out that she isn't, and that she was basically lied to her whole life. So it sounds really great, and I love books about witches, so I can't wait to get to that one. Hopefully I'll be able to get through all of those and squeeze a few more books in there. I'm feeling hopeful this month. So if you guys have read any of these books, let me know what you thought below. No spoilers, please. The ones that I have reviewed, I will link those down below so you can check that out. If you're wondering why I have no books to show you and because I've been putting pictures up, it's because I just got a new library card, which is good for kind of the city that I'm in and the city that's right next to me. So I have like way more book selection, and that way I don't have to spend money on books. And I'm going to show you my library card right now because it's freaking awesome. Hope you can see that properly. It says Chicks Dig Big Brains. So yeah, I've been getting my use out of this. Well, I think that's all that I have for you guys today. Make sure you check out our blog for all the reviews we've posted, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!